And they like advertise it like, do you want to earn like 40,000 first year uncapped earnings? I was like, yes, sign me up now. And this was when I was 18, and then literally, I think within 3 weeks of me seeing that advert, I've signed up for a course, went to David Lloyd, started the course, and then that's how I become a personal trainer.
Hello, and welcome back to the podcast. It's his Chatzzz, episode 12. Yes, can you believe episode 12? And fun fact is, we actually filmed the first ever episode of Chatzzz, which got deleted by me being an idiot, basically, and deleting the episode. But yeah, Ellis, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you, mate. So I'm Ellis, a personal trainer based in Cardiff. Yeah.
I was going to say, so the way, well, you just introduced yourself anyway, but the way I'm going to introduce people from now on, that's in the last one, is like, I'd say, how would you introduce yourself to like people? But would you just say personal trainer? Would that be it? Or
yeah, like I try and keep it, depends on where I am. Yeah. So, like if I'm out, I wouldn't want to even say I'm a personal trainer. Okay. Because then everyone's like, oh, well, I'm just eating like, turkey, rice and stuff, and I'm trying to lose weight. And I'm like, I'm trying to get drunk. Like, So like, it depends on the situation. And yeah, I think it just depends on who I'm with as well. Yeah. You just don't trust people either. So like, if you're like, oh, I'm a gym owner, and then like you say it to like the boys in the ends of like the area I live in, they'll be like, oh, you own a gym? Like, where's that to? Then they'll come rough it up. So it depends on like who you know, is how you'd introduce yourself.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, it just varies.
That's interesting. So I've given you 5 minutes prep time before this. So tell me 3 facts about yourself.
So I'm a massive Liverpool fan, and they can ruin my mood if they lose, but we don't do that often anymore. So
I know, boo. I feel like Liverpool.
Relegated.
I can't even deny that.
I own my own gym, and I've got, we're in there now, and I've got a dog called Gus who's a pomapoo.
Oh yeah, he's a legend.
Little man, Gus.
So first one, how or why did you decide to support Liverpool?
Do you know what? It was my first ever game. I watched Liverpool beat Man United 2-0. And my dad and brother were Man United fans. So I was like, that's who I'm going to support. And then, everyone's like, obviously, like, use Cardiff, why do you support? And I like Cardiff, obviously not today when they lose 4-0 to Swansea.
Oh, did they lose it?
At home as well.
Oh.
First time in like 100 years, Swansea have done a double over Cardiff as well. But yeah, like, mostly just... Like I said, probably just to spite my family, really. Just obviously when you're a child, that's what you do. Then, just stuck with them ever since. And then, obviously, with Roy Hodgson and stuff, and the bad days. But then, obviously, you get the good days like now.
Yeah, I know. You're reaping the rewards now. I'd say back in the day, they were all right, weren't they, when they were growing up? But they'd win the Champions League.
Yeah, like, first real memory, obviously, I'm only born in 96. So, like, when I was 10, like, winning the Champions League, Istanbul, 2005. So, it's not a bad time, but then from there just downhill one there. So obviously experienced Gerrard's slip against Chelsea, then obviously Roy Hodgson being in charge, like signing like Charlie Adam, all these guys, John Joe Shelby. So some rough times as well.
Oh well, I'm still in the rough times anyway, so hopefully we get some good times soon and we don't get relegated to the Championship.
At least you might win that.
So, I don't know about that, mate.
It will be tearing it up.
Because the thing is, we have to renew our season tickets by end of next month. Yeah. So I'll have a good idea if we're going to be in the Championship or not, so we don't renew our season tickets. But
supporter.
It's the second one. You own your own gym. So I reckon we won't talk too much about this, but you just tell us a bit about your gym maybe, and then we can talk about that later, can't we, in a bit more detail?
Yeah. So I opened up in July. So just off the back end of a pandemic. So it's just a small one-to-one personal training studio. It was just more like a safe space for my clients to come without being in a public gym. You're probably aware of most of like the cases of like sexual harassment coming out in gyms, the information coming out about it in the lockdown as well. So I was just like, oh, well, I could probably provide my clients with a safer space to train and protect them a little bit more, encourage them to get into the gym as well, because I didn't realize as a male how many females are put off by going into a gym and stuff. So it now creates that in between of not training and going to a commercial gym. So yeah, that was pretty much the idea.
Yeah, that's cool, isn't it? People are probably scared of like me in the gym, aren't they? Just like, oh, what a weirdo. Not in this shape. And then the third one, Gus, tell us about him.
Oh man, he's just a little terror. Like his class was he now coming up to a year in July.
No.
So yeah, so born in July, we got him in September, just because like by the time he had all his jabs and stuff, so I got him for my birthday in September. Yeah, he's class. He's big now though.
Is he?
Yeah, just full of energy. Like for little Pomeranian, well, Pomerpoo, like he wants to go for walks like 4 or 5 times a day. What? Yeah. So
hard work.
Hard work to keep entertained. I bring him down here as well every now and then. Yeah. So he meets. He just loves people as well. Yeah. Loves other dogs as well, no matter the size. He was playing with a Doberman the other day.
Doberman, they're quite big, aren't they?
They're quite big, and they're quite scary. and yeah, for like, what is he, about this big? Yeah. So, yeah, but he's class, like, so playful. Not a bad bone in his body, so yeah.
Yeah, just like his dad.
Yeah, literally.
But yeah, I think we'll go back to little Ellis and then just to talk about, like, what you were like growing up, maybe, like, school or...
Okay. So yeah, I'd say, like, also primary school, I can't really remember much of it. Like, I just don't get how people do remember stuff from that long ago. But yeah, I think it was just got along with everyone, sort of like bounced between different groups of friendships and stuff, like never had beef with anyone, so just got along with everyone. So that was nice as well, because you'd be like, you know, sometimes where people, especially as you get older, you've got different friendship groups. When you get to college and you're like, oh, my main group of friends are not in, like, then you walk around quite awkward. But like towards college, then I was able just to be like, oh, my main friendship group's not in, I'll go hang around with these guys today. So I had loads of different like hobbies and interests, which mostly come from like high school. So it's quite academic and quite sporty at the same time. So I took part in most of the sport, but then obviously was quite doing well in the academic side as well. And then college was like where I really found my feet, because I was really shy in high school as well. But I think that was more because like my older brother was really shy as well. Okay. So I think like obviously that energy just rubs off on you. He weren't really going around speaking much, so then I wouldn't go around. And then in college, then just sort of like found my feet, was just speak to anyone, get along with everyone. And yeah, just sort of that's where I'd say I sort of thrived and like really found myself and stuff. And yeah, I'd say it was a really enjoyable experience. Probably almost got kicked out once or twice, and then but again, not for like too much bad behavior. It'd just be like I enjoyed the social side too much. So like I'd miss lessons because I'd be like chilling in the canteen and just be like, oh yeah, just not go to this one because I don't really need to study for it. So I just catch up on the social with the boys instead. But yeah, other than that, I think high school, college, pretty easy for me. I think I had a lot easier than most people as well, because I had both sides of like the academics, the sports, the friendship groups and stuff. So like compared to some of my other friends who maybe struggled with the academic side, I don't think they enjoyed it throughout, whereas I could enjoy it all the way throughout. So yeah.
What did you enjoy the most about, like, say, the sporty side of things then when you were growing up?
Just like challenges and adrenaline. I think no day is the same when you do like a sport either. So like, you know, like in football now, like you're going for a tackle and you win it, you can't beat the feeling of it. But then even if you miss it, like you feel down for like 2 minutes and you're going for your next challenge, you win it. Like you just can't beat that feeling. So yeah, I think mostly like sort of the different challenges and like adrenaline you could chase as well.
Yeah. What kind of sports did you prefer doing?
Football was my favourite one. Did enjoy badminton.
Really?
Yeah, so we had to do badminton in GCSE PE. And I thought I was really good, and then I went to college. And then we played like this little tournament, and I was beating everyone, or like up on par with like everyone in high school. Went to college then, and I was actually like absolutely getting smashed. I enjoyed basketball as well, but that college humbled me as well, because I was like maybe 6 foot by the time I went to college. Yeah. And like he was like, "Oh, positions you play?" And I was like, "Oh, power forwards." And he laughed at me, and I was like, "What do you mean?" He's like, "You're not tall enough to play power forward." I was like, "I'm the second tallest in my year." He was like, Nah, I went to training and like I was the smallest on the team. I was like, what? And he was like, yeah, probably point guard or maybe shooting guard. So yeah, I enjoyed like a lot of different sports as well. So like even like mountaineering, caving, stuff like that.
Okay.
Only ones I don't really enjoy too much are like anything to do with water. So like swimming, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Not me.
No. So if you had to pick one then, if you say when you're growing up, what would it be?
Football.
Football, yeah. What did you like about the football the most then?
Probably sport's best at, isn't it?
Yeah.
So, I think even like most of my friends played football as well. So I think like social side, I was good at it. I think I definitely prefer being a team because like if you're having a bad day, at least you can get carried by other people. Whereas like if you're playing like badminton, if you're having a bad day, it's down to you, only you. So then sometimes with a team sport, it's the other way. Like you could be playing really good, and then someone else on your team makes like a mistake or two, and then all of a sudden you're like 3-0 down. And obviously, it upsets you a little bit, but yeah, I'd say football if I could pick any sport.
It's funny you should like talk about that because we were talking about on the last podcast saying like what kind of sports you enjoy, like the solo ones or the joint ones, and we were saying like the solo one is obviously really good because it's rewarding, you've won it yourself, isn't it? But sharing that experience in the team of winning is so much better, isn't it? Kind of thing, I think anyway. But it's a different kind of feeling, isn't it, on your own compared to in a team?
Yeah, I don't think that, like there's comparable as everyone makes out they are, and then but I think it's just different experiences as well. Because like I said, if you're having a bad day, even if it's not on the field, but like say if you're having a bad day before like an individual sport, and then like you got no one else other than yourself to hype you up, then if you're having a bad day in the team, like with a team sport, you got them around you as well to sort of get you through it before you even get onto the field. So yeah,
that's cool. And then with academic side at school, then what did you like about that? Because you said you were quite good at both, didn't you? You enjoyed both. I'd probably say many people that I've spoke to wouldn't say they've enjoyed both. It's either one or the other.
Yeah, I don't think like in terms of academic, I wouldn't want to sit there and do an exam every day. like when I say enjoyed it, I don't think it was that. I was quite good at it. Like I absorbed like a lot of information. So like even if I don't think I'm listening, I am listening, and I'll just pick it up and sort of, you know, like a kid who has like that annoying fact about everything. Yeah, like I sort of get one of them. Depends on the situation. So I would just be sat there and someone would be like, oh, then I'll be like, oh yeah, quoting this, and I'll be like, oh, where'd I even pick that up from? Yeah. So then when it come down to like exams, I was quite good at them as well. So didn't really have to do too much studying, which was good. But then as well with like coursework as well. So I think I had a good blend between coursework and exams, which was obviously favourable for whatever subjects I was able to take and stuff. So yeah, I wouldn't say like I enjoyed it, but I wouldn't say I was bad at it. So I think it just made it a little bit easier. You just enjoyed coasting through kind of thing. Yeah. Yeah. I think most people kind of like coast through school, isn't it? Because it's not really that interesting, I don't think. It's just like a memory test. Yeah, I think like for the kids now, I think gotta come away from school and like just because you have good grades, it don't mean you're going to be successful. Just because you have bad grades, it don't mean you're going to fail. Yeah. And I think like they put too much pressure on you at school. Oh, definitely. Like they don't teach you about being self-employed. They don't teach you about like paying your tax, whatever. It's nothing really too useful. And they put like, they're like, oh, uni's the only way to go, or like when you're in high school, college is the only way to go. I think you don't need that pressure as that young. Like you should be able to learn how to like express yourself and sort of pick different paths and be like, right, here's your options. You can go this way, or this way. This is the benefits and the cons of this way, vice versa, and for all of the different options you have. But they sort of like narrate to you which way they want you to go and which way you should go. And they look at like other options, like even down to like trade workers and stuff, so like mechanics and stuff, they like make it look bad. Yeah. Like I remember like I enjoyed cars and stuff when I was younger, but you sort of like be like, oh, only dumb people look at cars. Like you only do that if you fail to be everything else. But like realistically, they're laughing now because it's an essential job. So like throughout the pandemic, they're working with inflation going up now and stuff and everything bad happening in the world. They're still going to be working regardless, where, you know, it's going to be like people like me, like as a personal trainer, who are going to suffer a little bit more because it is a luxury at the end of the day as well. Yeah. They don't teach you that stuff, where my job might seem a little bit more desirable because it's probably a little bit easier. Like you're not getting dirty every day like you would being a mechanic, but it's probably, again, it's not as essential as a mechanic, but we look down at being mechanics and stuff. I think that got to change as well. Yeah, I don't know what the school system's like these days, but it's like when I was at school, it is literally just like learning facts, isn't it, to write back? Yeah. But like these days, if you want to like know something, you can just Google it on your phone and get the answer in like 5 seconds, can't you? Don't even have to Google it now. Hey Siri. You can ask Siri or Alexa or whoever. So it's like, how are you going to be testing them? You know what I mean? Like what's the point of testing them in that way when it's like that? It's like non-calculator exams. when do you ever not have a calculator on you? Do you know what I mean? Like, it's just, I don't know anyone who leaves their phone without the house.
No.
Leaves the house without their phone even.
Yeah. I agree with you there as well.
I was like, then, so yeah, everyone's got a calculator, so why not use it? Like, you get these things to give you an advantage. Why put people at a disadvantage?
It's just all fucked, isn't it? It's like you say, that they don't teach you how to like budget, do they? Or like get a mortgage, or like say be self-employed or start a business. Because remember, I did business studies at A level, and I don't have a clue what I was taught. I think it's just like facts out of
Procter and Gamble, and Unilever,
just like random facts out of textbook that has no relevance at all. I think I did a thing called Young Enterprise.
Yeah, I did that.
Did you do that? Yeah. So I think that was okay, but it still didn't really stand you in much stead. It was, I don't know, but you had to do the extracurricular to even get like a little taste of it, kind of thing. Whereas in business studies, you don't know anything about business, did you really?
No, like unless you wanted to be like employed as a manager of a big business already. It's sort of like you skip that step of like working your way up. It's like, right, if you were to take over this business, this is what you need to know. But like, yeah, like you said, like from learning from the ground up and stuff, you don't learn anything.
Yeah, the fundamentals, like say setting up a limited company, isn't it? Yeah. Like a cash flow forecast or profit and loss account and shit like that.
Marketing plan.
Yeah.
Business, just a general business plan in the first place. Like, stuff like that, demographics. Yeah, I don't think you learn a lot. Yeah, I think it caters to what they want you to learn. I think it's very one-sided. It's very commercial as well. I think that's the easiest word to describe.
I think maybe like one of the best lessons when you look back would like say be ICT, where you actually learn about like Excel and that kind of stuff. It's actually like practical and useful in later life. But at the time, I thought it was shit. But
you're just like logging on to other people's computers.
But yeah, I don't know what they teach kids these days, but it should be like social media related, shouldn't it? Like becoming savvy with that, and like say profit and loss accounts, setting up businesses, maybe budgeting, how to get a mortgage, practical skills, just life skills.
Even like how to utilize TikTok, like to make money and stuff. Like, because I think every kid, there's no reason why every 13-year-old can't be making £100-200 throughout high school and college.
Easy. And I think that's the way. Like obviously I feel like some kids do that out off their own back.
Yeah.
But they're maybe the ones who've got a bit of initiative, or the parents are pushing them a little bit, or whatever. But like say at school, they're very channeled in one direction, isn't it? To go to sixth form because it's bums on seats, so they get more money per pupil that's there, and go to uni so they get more grants or loans from the government.
I think kids don't help themselves either. I think there's a lot of bullying. Like say if someone was to take the initiative. And like make I know a girl, she's only like 13, who's made their own clothing brand through lockdown. So her mum actually embroiders all my stuff. And then she made her own brand, and like she's on TikTok and she gets like a few thousand views on there. She's had like a few thousand sales a month and whatever. And there's like girls who commented on her stuff, like winding her up because she's making this. And they're like, your content's cringe. And like she gets upset about it. And I just said to her before, I was like, you're making money, they're not. Like it's not. But because I think then that also then puts people off, like, oh, they care too much what other people think as well. Like, but I think you just got to get on with it, don't you?
Yeah, I said this before, but it's like people will only like take the piss out of you or whatever. It's because then they're not taking the piss out of you, they're taking the piss out of you because you're doing the thing and they know they couldn't themselves. Yeah. That makes sense, because they know they couldn't put themselves out there and start a clothing brand and post them TikToks because they're just like jealous, aren't they? Yeah. It's just difficult, especially when you're 13. That's mental, isn't it? And also, I think as well, on the last podcast, he was saying he doesn't really like putting himself out there much because he was saying he wants to do some videos and stuff for social media and that. And I was saying to him, just remember that when you consume another piece of content, and say if somebody watches one of my videos or sees one of my pieces of content on their feed or whatever, they might think, oh, that's cringy, whatever. But they'll view it maybe and then see it for that 5 seconds and judge me, but then they'll move on to the next thing. Because when you think about it, when you see something on Instagram, you'll maybe consume it for 2 seconds, but you're so busy in your own life that you move on to the next thing and don't give that a second of thought, do you?
No one cares about you. Like, that's the easiest way.
Exactly. People care too much about themselves to care about you. So just remember that if you're ever thinking of doing something and caring what people think, is just realise then nobody gives a fuck. You know what I mean?
Like you said, it'll be on their head for like 2 seconds, and even if they put you on the group chat, like say what average group chat, at least 5 people. That's 5 more views for your stuff. Anyway, like if you look at it and you can take all the negatives, but every negative's got a positive.
Yeah. But I think, just concentrate on what you're doing and what makes you happy, and just like block out the haters. But I think it is difficult for kids these days, especially girls, pressures and stuff. But yeah, like she sounds like she's smashing it, to be fair. So
doing too bad.
But yeah, so then obviously you said you went through like high school and college and stuff, and then what was like the career transition before you became a PT then?
So I was working in Morrison's, so the one across the road. So I think I started when I was 16. Then I didn't know after college whether I wanted to go to uni or not. And I didn't know whether I wanted to study business or sport, so I couldn't decide. So I took a gap year because I was like, I don't want to pay like however much it's going to cost to waste a year whilst I decide what I want to do. And then literally I was like on the laptop, and then it was like, oh, do you want to become a personal trainer? I was like banging the gym at the time anyway. And I was like, oh, I train with like a few of the boys, and I'm always the one who told them what to do because I was playing, learning sport in school. So I was like, oh yeah, like why not? That sounds easy. 6-week course, 9 to 5. I was like, yeah, quick, do that. And they like advertise it, like, do you want to earn like 40,000 first year uncapped earnings? I was like, yes, sign me up now.
There's 16 or whatever.
So like, this was when I was 18, and then literally, I think within 3 weeks of me seeing that advert, I've signed up for a course. Went to David Lloyd, started the course, and then that's how I become a personal trainer. So it was like no like aspirations or plans to become a personal trainer. It was just I've seen like, oh, do you want to earn 40 grand? I was like, yeah, like who doesn't want to earn 40 grand at 18? I was like, I think I was earning like 12 grand at Morrison's working full time. I was like, 40 grand, they like be in charge of your own hours, blah blah. Never work a 9 to 5 again, but instead you work like 6 a.m. till 10 p.m. They don't tell you all this stuff. You're working every weekend. People are not showing up. Your feet are killing, your back's hurting, you're just picking up weights and stuff. So yeah, that's how I got into personal training. So done a year, and I was like doing all right. Like I weren't doing too bad. I think the gym I worked at definitely helped a lot because it was the gym on Newport Road. So it had like 5,000 members at the time, but like 1,000 of them are going to be ghost members, so people who've not been active. So you still got 4,000 people to sort of go for every day. So like you literally just hit sales and just be like, do you want a PT? No, okay, no worries. Do you want a PT? No, okay, no worries. Do you want a PT? Yeah, go on then. I'll have 5 sessions a week. Like, oh, happy days. That's my food sorted for the month. And then I was like, doing all right. Then I was like, all right, I'm going to go to uni, study sport to help my PT in. Done that for like 3 months. I was like, nah, not for me. Dropped out of uni. But it was mostly because everything you learned in the first year of uni related to everything you learned on your PT course. Okay. So I was like, I'm wasting my time here because I was like, I could be earning money. Obviously, I took a pay cut to go to uni. And I was just like, it's not worth the stress. I had a girlfriend at the time. I was like, should be spending more time with her. No, literally, I was going to uni, finishing uni, going to the gym, PTing, then going home, seeing her for like an hour, then be like, oh, we should go do this, and be like, yeah, okay, and then falling asleep in the car. So yeah, that was that. So that's how I got into PTing. Dropped that uni, then was like, right, I could make a business out of this, and just literally sat down and just be like, right, here's who I usually train, probably not who I wanted to train. So like when I come in as a PT, I had like this whole arrogance, I'm training the whole Cardiff City football team, I'm going to be the best in the business. But it's not like that, and especially working at like a budget gym, you're not going to get them kinds of clients. Yeah. So I sat down with my assistant manager, Martin. He was like team leader, and he was like, right, just sit down. Who are you training at the moment? These people. Okay, like, do you enjoy training them? Yeah, not too bad. Would you want to train more people like that? Yeah, go on then. And then like that was my whole marketing then, some more female-based, sort of like how to get like body transformations, lose body fat, increase muscle mass sort of thing. And sort of bridge the gap for like women's fitness and stuff, like teaching them that you can lift weights without being bulky and it'll make you feel better. And then, yeah, just grew on from there. Then obviously opened this gym last year. Yeah. And again, that was probably just part of the process from there. I think it came a lot sooner than I expected. But yeah, I think lockdown sort of either sped things up or slowed things down for some people.
Yeah. Do you reckon if people were considering being a PT, then you'd just recommend just doing a course rather than going to uni then? Or
you don't need, like, I think to be a PT, to do the I think you'd have to do 2 years in uni to do the course. And I think, obviously I didn't finish uni, so I can't say it's going to be the same, and I didn't study personal training in uni. But from some of the PTs I know come out of uni, they don't learn that much more in that 2 years than you do in that 6 weeks. But in that 6 weeks, you learn nothing.
Yeah.
Like, I learned about the vena cava and the aorta valves and stuff like that. I've never used that in my life.
Yeah.
No one ever asked me, like, oh, how does oxygen get around my heart? No one cares about that. They go, can I eat carbs after 8 p.m? Yes or no?
Yeah.
If I lift this amount of weight, will my bum grow, my ass grow by like 6 inches by tomorrow?
Will a good 5B for some version like that.
I've got 3 weeks until I go on holiday. I need to lose 16 stone. Is it possible?
Yeah, if you pay me 10 grand.
Yeah, so I think either way you do it, I don't think you learn anything that you need to know. So I think if you are going to become a PT, you've got to like be willing to put the hours in. Unless you want to just do it and get by. Like, I think you can go to, without disrespecting, like budget gyms and commercial sized gyms. Like, if you go to there, you can just get numbers and go for the turnover game. But if you want to actually make a career out of being a PT, and it is good PTs who work there because of the numbers.
Yeah.
And they're probably a little bit more scared to take the risk and stuff. And I don't think, like, because the equipment's good, it's everything you need, it's cheap, people are always going to be there. But yeah, I think you've got to be willing to put the work in, create a business plan, run it like a business, and learn to say no as well.
That's powerful, isn't it?
It's a massive one. Like, the amount of people can have discounted PT, can have discounted gym membership. That's not why. I think if you don't value like your own time and your own expense, then they're never going to value you.
Yeah.
And if you do it for one, you got to do it for everyone else as well.
Yeah. So I think my perception of PTs is they don't always do PTing for long though. So is that stereotypical or is that
factual?
Factual, yeah.
I think the average shelf life PT is from like if you call it the academy. So from the minute you qualify, 3 months.
3 months, is that it?
Like maximum.
Why do you think that is then?
You just don't like it, because again, it comes down to that advert. Do you want to earn 40 grand uncapped, bloody blah a year? Then you're putting in stupid amounts of hours. You got to get your own clients. You got, like, people go, oh, like, how much you charge? It's not £30 an hour. You got to program that hour. You got to do the admin. You got to sort your insurance out. You got to sort your tax out. It's a lot bigger than that hour, but people look at it as, oh, I'm earning £30 an hour.
Yeah.
They're like, great. And then you like actually calculate your working week. You probably put in 40 hours minimum to PT 10 clients. And then you realize it's actually such a grind. And I think as well, like, people get into it for the wrong reasons. And I think I was speaking to someone about it in the week, one of my PT clients, about like people who sell out and stuff. And they probably look at it and go, like, I've definitely, you get disheartened by it every day. Like, don't know if you feel the same, of like, someone selling something they clearly don't believe in, but because it's like a quick fix, they get like obviously a mass amount of viewings. And then obviously you're selling something you do believe in, but because it's not as like sexy or like Instagrammable, your views come a lot slower. Yeah. So then it's a bigger process, and then obviously everyone wants everything quick. So I think people get disheartened quite a lot as well, because you can go in, you can be like, I'm going to change the world because I know all this science behind, like, this is how you build muscle, this is how you lose fat. But people don't want to know the science. They want it there and then. Yeah. And people are always after a short-term fix and stuff, and you've got to sell the process to people. You're not selling PT. You've got to literally sell like your beliefs and stuff and be like, you know, you can lose weight quickly, but you know it's not going to be sustainable. So I think that also adds into like the short-term shelf life of, you know, people getting discouraged by that. And then maybe even for some people, vice versa, people selling out and then can't like live with the guilt of selling out. Like, I know PTs, and they probably like money so much they'd sell bleach to their clients and stuff, and selling rat poison, and just it's going to lose them weight as long as there's money in their pocket. Then, like, how long could you do that before the guilt?
Yeah, people find you out.
Yeah, so I think that adds to it as well.
And why do you think you've stuck it out for so long then?
I wouldn't want to be employed again. That's another reason. I think that was like the main thing. I just hated being employed, like having someone tell you what to do. Yeah. I enjoy like the social side with my clients as well. So even though they are my clients as well, like I've got a professional relationship with them, but like sometimes you got like that personal relationship with them. And watching people like grow, and like you can save people's lives from doing it as well. As like cringy as it sounds, but like for some people, you've just that hour you might spend with them a week might make such a difference to like their whole rest of their week. So I think that helps. Like, it's very rewarding.
So it's like therapy as well.
Yeah, it's cheap therapy, really. And like a lot of people, I don't think want to speak about their problems, and like they want to speak about them, but they don't want to know they're speaking about it. So like, how many times have you had like an issue and it's probably not big enough for you to go to a therapist, like your missus is winding you up or whatever, and it's eating at you inside, but you probably just want to go speak to the boys, don't you? Like, and maybe have like a game of FIFA or whatever. I would say watch football, but
yeah, I don't want to do that. I think it's worse.
Add to it, isn't it? So I think it's just one of them ways around therapy as well. I don't think it substitutes for therapy, but I think for a lot of minor issues,
therapeutic kind of thing.
Yeah, I think it can. I think for some people it is the be all and end all, but sometimes it's just like a plaster on a big cut, or like a gash, not even a cut. So, I think that adds to it as well. Like I said, it's rewarding. I think just business plan as well worked for me. I think about it. And no day's the same. Like, you can always learn something new. Which can be quite annoying because like you might spend the whole year learning something and you're like, oh right, I've got the answer for this now, and then like 3 years down the line, that whole like review or whatever it is you've been reading is proven wrong. And it changes every time, but I think that adds to it as well. It's like you get a different challenge every day. You can grow it how you want to grow it, and you can help people as well.
I think in anything, isn't it? It's you're always learning and stuff. The day you stop learning is the day you stop progressing and growing and that kind of thing. That's quite cool. And then how did this gym studio come about then?
So it was in, I think, lockdown 2 in Wales. I think it was like a fire breaker. So I work with my mum next door as well. So she run it's mainly like phlebotomy, so blood taking. So she does like drug and alcohol sampling. So she does like Premier League players to see if they're taking any like performance enhancers. But then she does like court cases for like custody battles or whatever, DNA, stuff like that. Then she did like COVID testing. So throughout lockdown, I was just giving her a hand because I was bored and stuff. Then I was like sat in here, sat in the office, sorry. And then V, who's like the landlord's receptionist, come up. He was like, oh, I heard you're a personal trainer, blah, blah. Would you be open to PT and my son when gym's open? I was like, yeah, cool, whatever. Obviously, I'll just let you know when gyms are back open. Then she was like, oh, where'd you work? And I was like, showing her. Then she was like, oh, what style of training do you do? Bloody. So I was like, again, just showing her on my Instagram. And then I was like, oh, they were doing loads of work in here. And it was literally a building site. And I was like, oh, what are they doing in there? And then she was like, oh, they're just ripping everything out. And I was like, oh, why? She was like, oh, the owner of the unit's not using it anymore, so we're putting it up for rent. And I was like, oh, okay. So I went out, and then she come back in about like an hour or two later, and she's like, oh, would you want to open a gym in there? And I was like, nah, like, probably not. Like, I don't, like, we're in a pandemic. Like, I was stupid to open a gym now. I was like, then my mum was like, why not? I was like, what do you mean, why not? I was like, because gyms can't be open. So I was like, what's the point of it? Yeah, but she's like, yeah, but it's a building site, so it'd probably be like 6 months of working on it. And then I was like, nah, there's no point. I was like, I'm comfortable in my gym. I enjoy it. It's like a high-end gym. And then she was like, just do it. And literally just peer pressure me to do it.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, so she was like, you may as well, like, you don't want to work for someone else. She's like, you're self-employed under someone else's roof. So, that's how I pretty much got started.
Had you always wanted to have your own space then?
Yes and no. So, like, I've always thought about it, but never pushed it. Do you know what I mean? So I was always like, cool, but with the price of it, it's ridiculous. So yeah, never really thought about it too much.
I'll let you swallow that. But I think it's funny how it just came about, isn't it? It's kind of like obviously mum next door, and then the timing and everything. You're just mate, don't die on this podcast, like. She's trying to drink water and speak at the same time. It's going down the wrong way. Fuck right. If you're listening on Spotify or Apple, he's not dying. He's just the water's gone down the wrong way. So he's going to be back and give us, I don't know, do you reckon you need 30 seconds or?
Nah, should be good.
Mate, your voice is fucked now. I'm going to finish this podcast on my own. All right, he's going to have to get another drink. I'm going to have to entertain you for God knows how long, but yeah, I think it's mad because obviously it was a building site and now it looks pretty cool. like it's even changed from when we came down the first time in August, isn't it? Like loads more equipment, definitely more like, seems more organized, and the flow seems a lot better, which is cool. Because when we came, I don't know if you had these.
Them two in that corner.
They were there, yeah.
So that whole area is quite new. The desk was where that Calax unit is, the black unit.
Oh yeah. But yeah. Do you reckon you're feeling up for it?
Good to go, man.
Are you sure?
To go.
Right. He's back from the dead. So, what was like the process then? Because obviously your mum peer pressured you into it, but you still had to say yes. So, and also, why do you reckon your peer pressured you into it then?
I don't know. Maybe like, I think your mums know you best, don't they? So like, maybe she did notice, like, even if you feel content, is it like, are you happy or not? So yeah, I think it was a little bit of that. Maybe like she'd probably be like, "Oh, are you excelling at the rate you should be excelling at?"
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't really know. I don't ask questions. I'm just like, yeah.
That's interesting to think about, because I know my mum and dad, I don't know, they've always been nervous about me being self-employed. I think maybe because my dad's parents, they had a business when, obviously, years and years ago, but then that like failed and stuff. And he said that like they had bailiffs going around on the door when he was like a kid and stuff, answering the door and all that kind of shit. So my dad's always had a job and stuff. So I think he's always been apprehensive. But now I think now I'm doing all right. They're a bit more like chilled about it and stuff, which is quite nice. But it's cool that your mum like pushed you on to do it, I think, definitely. So what was the process then after that? So obviously your mum said do it. And then you were like, all right, so then how did it progress?
I think now. So I think, yeah, obviously they was gutting this place out. Obviously they had to do the legal stuff. So like put a new toilet in because they didn't have a toilet. Because it was originally one big unit. So they put it next door. So they divided it into 3 different units. So obviously each unit then needed like toilets, lights, fire exits, stuff like that. So this didn't even have a door. So the door's new. So where that wall is over there, that was just a hole. Walk through, and then you'd go through the big shutter door for next door. There was actually a door from there as well, going into the main buildings, but obviously they shut that off because it was just like a lane. People were dumping stuff down. So they had to do all that first. Then obviously that gave me maybe a month, 2 months to sort of figure out what I wanted to do with it, like how did I want it to look. So yeah, like order all the equipment stuff, decide what I wanted, then sort of like make a business plan, like what the name's going to be, what kind of market am I going to go for, am I going to have it as open gym, is it just going to be one-to-one, small group, stuff like that. So yeah, once I got that on the go, then it's sort of quite smooth in a way, apart from waiting for the equipment to come once I ordered it. And obviously it didn't help as well, being in lockdown. Obviously the price of equipment went up like tenfold. So I think originally it worked out like 50p a kilo for the dumbbell, and then it's gone up to like £4.70 a kilo.
Fucking hell.
So I like caught that sort of like in the middle.
Yeah.
So obviously it was a lot more expensive than I thought it was going to be, because I was like, oh yeah, like when I've like bought dumbbells for the house before, like you can get a 10 kilogram dumbbell for like 15 quid.
Yeah.
They're like 40, 50 quid now.
Oh, that's ridiculous.
So yeah, it's very expensive. And then yeah, I think it's still a process. Like whether, like you said, like I've moved it around quite a bit. I don't think you're ever going to be happy with it either. So I think I'm always going to be like moving things around. I got a TV with a TV mount ready to go up on that wall. I just got to wait for the builder to be free to do it. Bought a fridge last week. Just so I can put my chocolates and stuff in there, little snack cupboard. So yeah, I'm turning that storeroom into a room for the dog as well.
Oh, cool.
So just so like if I'm busy, you got a place to like he can sleep and stuff without him being on the gym floor.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think it's always going to be a process. Whether you feel like even if you are progressing, you're never going to be where you want to be. Like, could I get a second location? Could I get another PT in here? Stuff like that. So it's just like every day, just looking at the business plan and being like, right, this is where I want to be. How close am I to it now? Okay, I've got where I want to be. Where's the next step to go from there?
Was it what you expected?
In what way?
Just everything, like as a whole. Like obviously, my idea of opening a gym. So like, what was your idea of opening a gym? Was it like the kind of same? Was it as easy, or was it harder? Or because obviously it was during lockdown, so because like say, imagine if someone's watching this and they're thinking about opening a gym, and they obviously don't really know much about it. What would you say? Like, different or the same, or?
I think you got to find out like what you got to look at what you want and what your clients want as well. So, like I said, because I train a lot of females, is like they want their leg growth and whatever. So I have to make sure I had squat racks. Make sure obviously you got your basics, so squat racks, dumbbells, whatever. Then you could look at, do you value a machine? Do you need like machines and stuff? And at the time, probably I didn't want machines because I was like, oh yeah, free weights are the best. But then like growing as a PT now, I'm like, oh, I probably should get some machines, but obviously I haven't got the space. So I think it's just being like set on sort of like, you got to know what you want and be 100% about it. Obviously your ideas and ideology will always change, which is obviously the annoying thing. Like I said, in research changes as well. Because like obviously everyone's like, oh, free weights are the best way to build muscle, resistance machines are rubbish, but realistically resistance machines are actually better to build muscle. So it depends on like, but if that don't align with your goals, like a CrossFitter, for example, is not going to need resistance machines. So this gym would be pretty much perfect for them. Obviously the only argument would be the walls are not solid, so you can't throw stuff against the walls. So plywood, and maybe the roof's not high enough to do bar muscle ups on safely. But other than that, it's pretty solid for them to use as like a box. So yeah, I think it's like, you got to have your ideology and make sure the gym aligns with that. But it's not always about you either. You got to look at your clients as well. So, are they going to be happy with the color? Are they going to be happy with the layout of it? So yeah, I think you got to sit down. You got to make sure your clients as well are part of the process. Obviously, unless you're moving area, then obviously it's a bit more down to you. But if you like, I'm taking an existing client base from west side of Cardiff to the east side of Cardiff, is they got to be part of that as well. And I think it helps them as well because they feel involved. So like, even down to the logo, I was like, right, what logo do you guys want? Obviously I got the logo designed. I got 5 different designs, put a group chat with all my clients together and was like, right, you guys pick it, and they picked it. And then because it was a vote, they all feel involved with it. Colors as well, stuff like that. Even down to if I'm buying equipment, what equipment do you want to see next in the year?
That's just a reminder on my phone. Sorry, carry on.
So I think it's hard because, like I said, things change all the time, and you sit between the same 4 walls every day, so you're constantly going to want to change it as well. And you'd be like, oh, I reckon I could squeeze that in there. And like I thought about before, like I could probably get a leg press in that area there, but then I lose space. And I'm like, what do I value more, space or a leg press?
Yeah, it's true, isn't it?
So like, you got that argument then, so you got to weigh it up, stuff like that. Even down, I could probably fit maybe a machine in this gap here. Again, space or leg press, or space or whatever machine I was going to put there. So it's constant like arguments with yourself, and it's like you might have an idea, but don't be reactive with it. And I think that's the easiest thing.
Think more long term, isn't it, I suppose. Is that a hip thruster machine?
Hip thrust machine there.
That's quite cool. I don't think I've ever seen that.
So it's got the Nordic.
That's for the girls, isn't it?
The girls. And then I'm too big for it. That's the only issue. So yeah, my legs don't go over that bar.
I definitely don't have that problem.
So, but yeah, there's ways around it, but obviously it's annoying, especially when you bought the machine. But I was debating selling it the other day to get one that fits for me.
That's interesting, isn't it? Because I suppose, like you say, it is important to, if you're taking your existing client base to your own gym, it's just put them first, isn't it? Make them feel involved. What equipment would they like? What they want and what they would need, not just thinking of what equipment you'd like to go in your own gym. Because even though you like to go in your own gym, obviously you're a lad, and lads obviously typically you'd use different equipment to women, won't they? Because they want the booties and the legs and all that kind of shit.
Whereas pecs and shoulders.
We just want to look.
Even that's growing for girls now and stuff. So I think again, like, it's annoying because the ideologies change for girls. Like I'd say, 2 years ago, the Saturday was all about like getting big bums and small waists. Now I see probably more girls tweeting about doing pull-ups and TikToking about doing pull-up than I do hip thrusting now. So I think it's like, no matter the time, it's going to change. You just always try and make sure you're in line with that change as well.
Yeah.
Obviously, you don't always have to be ahead of the change, and trying to preempt change and force change, but be open to it, because a lot of the girls I train now, they come to me and they're like, I want to be able to do a pull-up. And I'm like, oh, but, I thought we were going to do hip thrust today. And then I want to be, even press-ups and stuff. So I think you just got to be open to that. So yeah, I think it is hard. I think just having that transparent relationship with your clients and stuff.
Yeah.
And then they'll keep with you long-term as well. Because they'll be like, right, he's done everything for me. So even you don't even have to ask them directly, oh, what do you like about this gym? I don't know, say if they trained at their gym, or what did you like about this gym? Okay, what did you like about that gym? What should you look for if you go to a gym? Stuff like that. It's just simple questions. And even now, there's so many personal trainers on Instagram, TikTok, whatever, Facebook. Before someone comes to you as a PT client, you can probably ask them that question.
Yeah.
If you're going to hire a personal trainer, what would you look for? And then just collate all that information, and then make sure you got everything that's good about a personal trainer. But you're not going to be for everyone either.
Yeah, so you can't please everyone all the time, can you?
No, and I think that's where a lot of these commercial gyms and stuff go wrong. They try and please the mass, which is obviously their business plan. That's why they're so cheap. I think especially if you're going to be a private gym, you're not going to be able to apply that. And I think if you try and please everyone, that's where the market saturates. I think everyone says the market's saturated. It's not.
No, because you can find your own little speciality and your own little niche, can't you?
Yeah,
within it.
It's the same with every business. Every business got people in, whether you like it or not. But if you just take one or two things and stand out from that, there's enough space for everyone in the market. Yeah,
because if you're known for one or two things, then people will come to you and they'll refer you for that, won't they? Yeah. Rather than if you're a generalist. It's like an example, right? So when you go to a doctor, say, I don't know, if you broke your neck or something. Okay, this is going to be a terrible example. Broken your back, right? You're not going to go to the doctor who likes the GP and say, all right, you're going to fix this here. You're going to go to the doctor who specialises in back. They always specialise in one thing, isn't it? They specialise in I can't even think now, but say spinal, yeah, or knee or ankle and foot and that kind of thing. So they'll specialise in one thing and be really, really good at that. They won't be saying, oh, I can do this and this, because you don't go to them, will you? So it's same PTs, you specialise in, you say women, what is it, the in-between, what would you say? Yeah, you specialise in?
Getting into fitness, sort of a beginner stage, but then obviously
transformations as well.
Yeah, then you go from the beginner stage, I say the main bread and butter, then I'll have the transformations and the long-term clients as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a process, and you got everyone's gonna leave you someday.
Yeah.
Whether you like it or not.
That's probably the aim though, isn't it? To train them to be able to do it on their own 2 feet.
And I can't remember what film it was in, and he was like, I failed as a father if you don't feel ready when I die. And that's probably obviously that's a lot deeper, but you should train someone even in school, you train them and they can go out in the real world and they got the skills they should have to survive. And I think it's the same with personal trainers. I could have you for 8 weeks, but then realistically, once you've hit the transformation, you probably don't want them anymore because you've run out of marketing material. Obviously, there'll be people you get along with, you have good relationship with, so they'll stay long term. But you need that turnover of people. Otherwise, say if you have a client for 10 years who's taking your Monday at 6 p.m. session, and then one day then she's like, I don't want a PT anymore. You've got no content from her anymore. Obviously, you can keep filming her workouts, but if she's not making that much progress, you don't need her. So, and it's expensive as well, so you have to be able to teach people that they probably don't want to live with that cost forever. So you come in, we fix your problems, we address your sort of issue or whatever you want to solve, we move you on. And then that's a nice process, conveyor belt sort of thing.
Yeah, no, I think that's a good way to put it, isn't it, really? Like you say, you just want to teach people enough, help them, give them the solution, and then move them on.
Yeah.
Just go on their own 2 feet kind of thing. One thing I wanted to ask was cardio versus weights, right? This is a funny one, because girls definitely think cardio is the best way to get in shape, isn't it? But it's 100% not, is it?
Depends.
But I think if they want to get like a booty or like get defined or like curvy or like a
build muscle, toned.
That's the best way to put it.
Yeah,
like do girls come to you with that like problem? Say like, oh, blah, 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 do I need to cardio?
That's the 30 minutes every day for the last month, and why's my bum only like an inch bigger? Yeah. Well, I've seen these girls on TikTok, and they're like 10 inches bigger, like doing a month of training. And it's like, if you look at fat loss, if you do cardio for fat loss, okay, but like I put a thing on the studio page the other day, like an infographic, so you total daily energy expenditure, so how many calories you burn a day. So as your BMR makes up for 70% of it, then your NEAT then, so like walking, like how I move my hand now, makes up 15% of your calories. Then 10% is thermic effect of food, so how much calories your body burns digesting food. So then if the more protein you have, the more you burn because it's the higher thermic effect. But then like exercise only burns 5% of it. So like exercise is overrated in terms of like fat loss, like if that's your goal. But yeah, like if you're doing a session, you might burn, let's say 300 calories doing a cardio session there and then. So you're like, oh yeah, I burnt 300 calories, but I feel so fit. But then you have no after effect. So you have a thing called the epoch effect. So it's just like how many calories you burn after. But if you do a weight training session, you might only burn 100 calories there. Be the epoch effect active for the next 48 to 72 hours. So you might burn like an extra 7 calories an hour. But if you do that for the next 72, you're probably going to burn up, let's say, 400 calories. So yeah, I think weight training is a lot more fun. It's easier to measure as well. Yeah. Because like, say if you're just getting 30 minutes on a Stairmaster, there's only so many ways you can progress it. Like you have to do 31 minutes, maybe you go a little bit faster. But on weights, you could like introduce like drop sets, short rest, higher weights, different rep and set schemes and stuff. So yeah, I'd say weight training is a lot better as well. But I think we're scaring girls as well because like we're trying to abolish the word toned like in the fitness thing. And like, don't get me wrong, toned is not a technical term. It's just losing body fat and building muscle at the same time. Yeah. But as we're constantly like, there's no such thing as toning, but there is, because it's just losing body fat and we're just being like too particular with it. And I think then because toning is a more friendly word than building muscle.
Yeah, it's less scary, isn't it? Less aggressive. Yeah,
so I'm like, I learned this at the Perform-X thing. Like, why do we keep like telling people they don't exist? Like, because it does. Okay, yeah, it's not professional, but if it's a word people relate to, just keep on using it because it makes their life easier. And I think we sort of scare people out of like training and doing weights because we're like, yeah, this weight training is going to build you muscle. But if I just said, doing this is going to tone your bum, like, they'd be like, oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, it's that deal.
Yeah. Whereas if I'm like, oh, yeah, so these 4 sets of 12 hip thrusts are going to build your glutes. You're like, what? Like, do you know what I mean? So it just sounds like, as I said, more aggressive. But yeah, I'd say building, in terms of like, if you want a general transformation, weight training, just it's like the highest after effect as well. And I think it's the easiest one to stick to as well. Yeah. It's the least boring. But if you prefer doing cardio, then I don't think I know anyone who prefers cardio.
No, not at all. I've recently transitioned from the treadmill. I used to do like the highest incline.
Yeah.
On like 6 or something, or 6.5, 20 minutes. But now I do cycling. Okay. And I feel like I do that on like, what is it, difficulty 12 on the one I use at the gym. I do that for 20 minutes. But I feel like that burns a lot more calories than, makes me leaner than doing the treadmill, because I feel like I always cheat on the treadmill because you're not meant to hold the things, are you? I was holding the things like 300 calories burned. Yes, that's what I mean. Like, that's definitely not 300 calories. But then when I'm on the bike and doing like, say, I don't know, 6 miles, whatever, in 20 minutes, and I say you just burn like 130, whatever, I feel so much better, because that's what I mean. Like, you can't track how many calories you're burning realistically, can you?
I think, again, I put a post on there about a few months ago, and I think it's like these fitness trackers. Like, I've got an Apple Watch on now, and I'm not going to look at the calories because I definitely haven't moved enough today. So, yeah, I was just like, but it tells you, like, you've seen in lockdown, like, people taking things and that, this 30-minute workout made me burn 1,400 calories. And I'm like, no, it never. Like, stop. It was like, but they've been shown to be like, I think, 16% to 68% inaccurate.
Ooh, that's a high 2/3.
Yeah.
Mental.
So it's like, but then you throw obviously these numbers out, and then I think it just creates that unhealthy relationship because people are like, oh, well, I've burned this amount of calories, so I can have a cheeky McDonald's after this. Because they're like, oh, well, if I've burned 1,400 calories doing this, then I've done at this amount of calories, surely I can have 300 calorie McDonald's. But you probably haven't, because like you said, it's 2/3 inaccurate. So, yeah, I think it is. It's just, but I think again, like you said, if you feel sometimes better doing something, like I warm up on the bike, so the bike erg, so it's sort of like a combination of ski erg and a rower. And yeah, I was like, I just find it makes me feel better from doing it. I used to walk on the treadmill. I feel good for doing that on the incline as well. But if you put me on an assault bike, I hate it. I feel like absolute shit coming off it. So chances are, am I going to stick to it? No. So why keep putting it in there?
Yeah, you want to do stuff that's sustainable, though, in the long term. I think that's important, definitely. So what advice would you give somebody if they're considering opening their own gym or studio then?
Plan it. Just be open to other people's ideas. Like, you're not everyone's going to tell you what you want to hear. Like I said, it's their gym as much as your gym. Obviously, you want to put your own personal touches on it, and I think you should have a section like designated to you like if you open it individually. But I think maybe that's 5% of your gym. Like I've got my little corner in there. I got my side Liverpool shirt ready to go up as well.
Don't put that
over. But yeah, then the other 95% of the gym is nothing to do with me. Obviously, it's mine, but it's for your clients and your clients to enjoy. You got to make it a safe space at the end of the day for them. And I think that's a massive thing now is safety of people. When it comes to opening a gym, is you don't want to go in there and be sexually harassed or just intruded on or whatever. So I think if you can make people feel comfortable, I think they'll be there a lot longer, long term. And it's annoying as well because obviously you could make everyone feel comfortable and it just takes one person's action. So like anyone who joins here on an open gym, they got to go through a 24-hour application process. So they send me their application and then I might send them down for they can come down for a trial session. And then I agree or disagree whether they can sign up on a membership, just because I don't know what their behavior is going to be like in the gym. So things like, are they going to put their weights away? Are they going to be mindful of other people and stuff? Is a big one as well. Because like I said, you can do all these things you want to do, but it's down to other people to either make it or ruin it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'd say other than that, just have fun with it as well.
Yeah, that's important. And then any girls considering going to the gym or wanting to get the pumped in shape? Yeah, obviously avoid me. But then any girls, what advice would you give them who are maybe considering the gym or like a commercial gym, they don't really like it and that kind of thing? Apart from go to yours.
Yeah, sign up, yeah. Yeah, I'd say...
I think that's a big one for girls, isn't it? Because gyms can be intimidating.
Very intimidating.
And like even, say one of my friends... I said to her, oh yeah, you should come to the gym I go to, which is maybe an intimidating-ish gym.
It's like spitting sawdust in there almost.
Yeah, so it's not really though when you like go in, but obviously outside looking in it can be. So what would you kind of say to those kind of girls?
I'd say just go dress comfortably. Like however you feel the most comfortable. The more comfortable you feel, the more comfortable your experience is going to be. Obviously take baggy clothes as well. So if you do want to cover up as well, if you're doing like an RDL or a hip thrust where it might be sexualized by someone else, set up your own little space, go in with a plan so you can go in, go out. But that's the main one. I think a lot of people get uncomfortable because they're dilly-dallying around anyway.
Yeah.
And then they don't quite know what they want to do. And then they fail at the start before even coming in. So if you've got a plan, you're like, right, I know where to go. If you sign up to a gym as well, I think doing a gym tour, gym induction, even speaking to the staff. So I used to make like a conscious effort, I think, especially as a big man as well, like 6'3", and a male. I'd just say hi to every girl, just literally hi and then nothing else, walk off. Wouldn't try and force conversation, just let them have a conversation with me if they wanted to speak, and just left it up to them, because I think if you keep trying to force that conversation, that's when you look a bit
pushy. Yeah.
And even if you don't feel like you're doing anything bad, it is subjective at the end of the day. So like you might just be like, oh yeah, like I'm giving someone a bit of advice, but they might feel that's unacceptable. Yeah, they might not want that advice, which obviously as a PT can be quite annoying because on average you're usually trying to get the best for them, but there is the people who have tarnished our brand as personal trainers. And probably more of them than there's good PTs out there. Unfortunately, that's why we got the issues we've got. But yeah, I'd say go in with a plan.
Yeah, that's a good one.
If in doubt, go in with a friend or hire a personal trainer.
Yeah.
Probably avoid TikTok because you're going to learn some stupid stuff off there. And yeah, I think that's pretty much it.
I think that's a good one. I like that, going with a plan, isn't it? So you know what you're doing.
Yeah.
So it's structured. And yeah, it's a funny one because like I'd never think as a boy to like how I dress in the gym, but it's like for a girl, when you speak about it, it is true to say like if somebody was wearing like a crop top or like short shorts and stuff, you would notice them. But say if they're comfortable wearing that, that's sound, isn't it? But if you take your baggy clothes and you don't want the attention, you would be less inclined to look at them and notice them, wouldn't it? Which is
I think it's annoying because you might have that day as well, like where you feel like really comfortable wearing that, and then someone else might put you in a bad thing. And yeah, I think. But it's a lose-lose, win-win situation.
Yeah, but like you say, yeah, it's a difficult one for girls. I think, especially these days, isn't it? Especially in gyms when there's like older blokes there who stare. I think staring's the worst when they, like, because I see girls on like say my Instagram who like saying, "Oh, an older man was staring at me today," or like talking to me, and it's just like that's their time alone, isn't it? For like say 45 minutes, an hour. Just to go into the gym, work on themselves, probably be in their own little world, the headphones on and stuff. And then when people try and like get involved, you're like, what are you doing, mate? Just leave.
It's an awkward one. It's like I'm a daydreamer as well. So like sometimes I'll finish a set and I'll just sit there like that. And I'm like, my eyes are open, like I can see what's in front of me, but I can't really see what's in front of me. And I'm like, if someone walks in front, I'm not even notice. So I'm like, if I'm looking at it, I'm like, I'm not like, actually looking at you, I can't see you, but again, like it's subjective. If they feel like I was looking at them, they're within their right to say something as well. But I think calling people out as well, like if your friends are being weird. The government have made a massive campaign about it now, haven't they? I think that's one of the first good things they've done in a while, to be honest. So,
I think I've never approached a girl in the gym. I just feel fucking weird.
What'd you say?
I don't know.
How many sets you got left? About 5. Do you fancy dinner tonight?
I know. It's like, I feel like because there's not really that many girls who go to my gym, but it's like if they were interested, they would try and catch eye contact, isn't it? That's how girls do it. They'd probably like try and catch eye contact in the mirror, or they'd like look at you or whatever.
No, I never have. I'll just wait for you to post a photo on Instagram. Follow you.
Something like that. But right, okay. So moving on to everyone's favourite segment is relationship advice. So we've got 3 people messaging in. And we didn't do this on the first one that never got posted, but this is a segment that everyone seems to like. So this is a girl. What are we calling her?
What's a good girl's name?
Carly, right. So Carly's messaging. She's saying she's dating a guy. It's going really well, but then they've given me the ick. When he was coming over to mine, he got out the back of his car because he can't drive. So I'm assuming Carly's got the ick with this lad because he can't drive, and he came over and he got on the back
Someone
of
else dropped him off.
Is that a big ick for a girl then, if they can't drive?
Have you ever got out the back of a car?
Well, yeah, I've got out the back of a car before.
Like a free door.
Or a 3-door.
And then you got to put the seat forward.
Oh, well, I have in the past, but...
As a grown man now.
I can't remember the last time I did.
See, I'm 6'3", so I'm always kind of shocking.
Yeah, you would. Because I always drive, you see, because I've got the thing where I have to, like, be in control.
Think about now. You step out that back, the little window, you can't even wind down your window.
I'm trying to think any of my mates who've got, like, a 3-door. I can't think. Well, one of my mates does, actually, but I can't remember the last time I got out the back. But yeah, so what we're saying to Carly then...
Teach him to drive.
Yeah, Carly, do you drive? That's the thing.
If she drives.
She must drive.
But then she's got to drive everywhere.
I think that's like an ick thing as well, though. Like, if a female's, like, driving you around.
If you're over the age of 18 and you don't drive.
Yeah.
It's a no fly. I can get with someone who doesn't drive.
It's a difficult one, isn't it? To be fair, my barber, he's 23 maybe. And he's just passed his test recently.
Yeah.
And his girlfriend's recently passed it, and I think she's older than me. But he was saying that he never passed when he was younger just because he moved out when he was young, he never had money and that kind of thing. So I think if this lad has maybe been, I don't know, out on his own since he was 16 and maybe he's only 18 or something, then give him a break. But maybe if he's
context on that.
Need more context. But
if he's 20, let's say 25 plus, a decent job. Yeah.
If he's 17, give him a break, can't he? Because he's only just legally he's 15. Right. So yeah, Carly, you need to give us what age he is, a bit more context.
Dedication, mind.
What do you mean?
Gotta lift it.
Yeah, I know. But yeah, Carly, I think it depends how old he is. I think, but
context.
Would a girl getting out the back of a car in a 3-door give you the ick then?
I think it's different for boys and girls.
Yeah, it definitely is. Isn't
I feel like it's such a, not being sexist, it is a male thing to drive, and it's expected of us now. So I think like if I was a girl, it would definitely give me the ick. If a boy got out, I think other way around.
Yeah, especially if you fell over or something getting out of the car. Yeah. Right. Okay. So the second one. So this is a boy. What are we calling him?
You can pick this one.
All right. Okay. I reckon we call him Aaron. Right. So I'm getting to know a girl. She's really nice and we're getting along really, really well. But as things progress, I'm just not feeling it anymore. They just don't have any ambition or drive. How do I go about ending it? Oh, Aaron, this is a sticky one, I reckon. It depends. Like, all of these need a bit more context, don't they? But I suppose it depends how long you've got to know them for. Yeah. Like, if it's maybe like a couple of days, it's not too deep, is it? But maybe if it's like a few months or whatever.
And again, I think it depends on the age. Yeah. It's like, if you're just going for like, you're not seeing it as your wife, does ambition matter? Yeah,
that's true.
Unless you're seeing a wife, mother of your kids, like, meet the parents, then I think ambition matters. And it depends if you're happy, if you're earning enough money and you want to fund your life as well.
If you're going to be a sugar daddy.
If that's up your street. I think.
But how does he go about ending it though? That's what he's asking. That's what Aaron's asking. How do I end it? Tell her, I reckon.
Yeah, just go straight in.
So you wouldn't just ghost her?
No, but like, are they together?
No, I think he said he's getting to know a girl. She's really, really nice, but as things progress, he's not feeling it anymore.
I don't know. I've had bad experiences ghosting.
What, you ghosting them or them ghosting you?
Me ghosting them.
Oh, mate, you're a terrible lad. You're going to get loads of hate in the comments section.
If you like, every time you ghost someone, like something about you comes up, or like they find some dirt on you. It's not worth it.
So how would you ghost them then? Would you just like
block them?
You'd block them?
Yeah.
You're brutal.
If you're gonna block ghosts, you gotta block.
So you wouldn't just like space the messages out longer? Because you see, for me,
that's phasing out.
Right, okay. So these are different things. My interpretation of ghosting and phasing out, I didn't have phasing out in my dictionary, but now I do. Yeah, but see, for me, I'm quite a quick replier. Yeah. So like, even though this is how bad it is, I have a phone on Do Not Disturb, so I don't get notifications through. So I didn't have notifications on anyway, but now I have Do Not Disturb on, so I don't get phone calls or texts. If someone tries to ring me or text me, I can't see it, but I check my phone that much. If I get a message, I'll reply straight away anyway. So like, I'm a quick replier, so I would have to like stop replying instantly and then be like an hour or 2 hours or 3 hours or 4 hours or like the next day.
I feel like I have to guess like 3 hours. It's not worth to reply anyway.
You reckon 3 hours is the cut-off for you?
I don't know. Depends what the conversation is.
Yeah.
Like if it's just like, oh, what are you doing? You good? Yeah. And then like, yeah, good, thanks. How are you? I'm like, after 3 hours, I'm like,
I'd have pied him off by then because that's just generic banter. But if say Aaron's been talking to this girl for say 3 months, right? He's been messaging her every day, they've been meeting up, maybe done the deed, that kind of thing. How's he going to end it then? Run. Right, Aaron, just run as fast as you can. Get a new phone.
But then you gotta think, could he not give her like that drive? Because like, even though I got drive myself, I feel like you match the energy of someone next to you.
Yeah.
So like, if you didn't have drive now, would you want to have drive yourself? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So then I could see it from like both sides. Like maybe he's not inspiring her to have drive, but then maybe because she don't have drive, if he has drive, that she's going to drag him down.
Yeah. But how does he end it? We're skirting around this subject. So, right, the options are ghost them.
Phase out.
So ghost them's blocked. Phase out is just space out the text, or tell them straight?
I feel like it depends how old they are. And what
Mate, you're just gonna have to tell them. You're just gonna have to give one of these 3 options.
I'd go with tell them.
Tell them, yeah. I think you've got to tell them,
because I think you could speak about that one, and I think everyone, because she might just not have known where she wants to be. So like, you know, like some people find they're like calling a little bit later.
I think just be honest, isn't it, and just say like you're not feeling it, but maybe don't go in too much detail. Just general.
Have driving might just not match your level of drive.
Yeah, everyone's different, aren't they?
Yeah,
kind of thing. When you get to know people, you notice little things about them that you maybe don't like or you do like, and that kind of thing. But yeah, I think it's best just to be open and honest and tell them. So yeah, Aaron, do that. Right, the last one. So this is a juicy one. So this is a boy. What we call it?
I think it's going to depend on the question. What he put it. Right, guess his name.
You can see it on there. So
an older woman.
No, don't say it yet. You need to name the name first. So this guy, he must be about 19, 20, 21, something like that. What are we calling
him? He don't have a name.
Right, okay. Let's just call him Paul. Right. So Paul has messaged in saying an older woman keeps messaging me when she's married. Or who's married. She is a husband, but wants to meet up and do you know what? As if you said, do you know what? What should I do? I don't want to be a home wrecker.
Questioning it, you want it.
Well, that's the thing. I think it's a difficult one, especially when you're a bit younger. Like, for me, when I was younger, I found, like, I probably do still find old women a bit intimidating. So it's like, oh. And then when you add in to the mixer married, it's like you say, why do you want to be involved with that? But it is quite naughty at the same time. You don't want to be a home wrecker, because especially if they've got kids. I haven't mentioned if you've got kids or not, but if you've got kids, then you would be like potentially ruining a family in that. But then why is she going around messaging saying, oh, do you want to meet up?
She's going to message someone else. So if it's not,
she probably is messaging other people.
Yeah, so if it's not him, it's someone else. Yeah. So like, if she's a bit of him, I think do it. Like,
you reckon just Paul gets straight into the mixer?
Yeah, I think he's asked a question, he wants to do it.
Yeah, he just wants confirmation by us, doesn't he?
Yeah, he wants approval, don't he?
Like, Paul, just do it, mate.
Ellis and Adam told me to do it. When her husband's beating him up, man.
Please don't come for us. This is meant to be anonymous. But yeah, right, okay. So that's pretty much it for the podcast. Do you want to plug any shit or?
So my Instagram's at Ellis Frangos _PT or at Studio 16 Fitness. Stick it in there.
Yeah. In the description. But yeah, everyone, thank you very much for watching and listening. If you're watching on YouTube, make sure to subscribe. Leave any comments about your favourite part, any questions for Ellis in the comments section below. If you're listening on Apple or Spotify, make sure to follow the podcast and leave me a 5-star rating, and I will see you next time. Bye.